Good afternoon, delegates. Now I'm going to start the second session, how to connect IoT device to a cloud provider. So here, as you know that Raspberry Pi is a very small device, and if it is, uh, as you know that Raspberry Pi has millions of sensors will be connected, and here the data will be collected by the Raspberry Pi. But unfortunately we don't have a lot of storage on the device. For example, if you take your smartphones, we have limited what you call it as storage on your mobile phones and all this. So for that, what we do is we will connect to the Google account, and they provide us some cloud storage, and your all the data will be pushed on to the cloud. Same way here also, these IoT devices are so small that they cannot handle huge data. So for that, we need to take the help of cloud providers. There are some 12 cloud providers who are providing services. So here we have two types of services. One is commercial, another one is for learning purpose for universities and students for creating any uh, sample project like that. So here these are the 12 cloud platforms. One is ThingWorks IoT platform, and here you can see it was designed by PTC for development of enterprise app development. So the advantage of this site is easy connectivity with any devices like your sensors, RFIDs, etc. And once the data is uploaded onto the cloud, you can remotely work them from anywhere. So here we have some pre-built widgets for the dashboard. So almost every cloud service provider will provide this dashboard followed by the widgets. So if it is a like for example non-commercial purpose, they will offer this free of cost. But the problem with this is they give us some limited widgets. For example, if you want to show data in a widget like the temperature widget, then that kind of things will be available. But we have very limited widgets for that. So, and we have some limited number of devices and sensors to be attached for which are offering for free. So next one is the Microsoft Giant who provides this IoT service. So we call it as Azure. Azure is the name of the cloud uh, by offered by the Microsoft, and it is called as Microsoft Azure IoT Suite. So here you know how easy the Microsoft operating system is. Same way, you will have all the graphical user interfaces, and anybody that is who are proficient, little bit proficient with IoT devices and cloud, they can easily connect to the Microsoft Azure IoT suite. So when we are going for free, then we have some limited time like 30 days trial like that. So here you can connect to the cloud, and once the data is uploaded, you can visualize your data in any format, and moreover you can also perform analytics also. So these are the service providers, cloud service providers, especially for IoT. And as you all know that Google Cloud is also one of the providers for IoT platform. And the advantage of using IoT platform is already we have most of the people who are using smartphone, definitely they will have the user ID and password or some account. So using that account, you can connect to this clouds, Google Cloud IoT platform. But at the time of registration process, it will ask you to enter the credit card and debit card details like expiry date, number, and all this. They won't charge anything, but when you go beyond the limit, automatically they will charge money from your provided data like the credit card or the debit card. So here, the advantage of using Google Cloud's IoT platform is that it provides huge storage, and here server maintenance also very less. So when we require server means when your data requires some uh, computational intensive, that means if you want to perform any analytics on that, then we are required to use this server. And these servers which is provided by the Google Cloud will be little bit less compared to other providers. And as you all know that Google provides a very secure system, and you can easily connect to the Google Cloud IoT platform and perform your operations, especially, and it is very much efficient as well as scalable. So scalable in the sense, today I'm working with one IoT device with some 10 or 5 sensors like that. And the next day I may connect some more devices. Like that, you can scale up to any extent. So without much, what you call it as much steps, you can easily connect them to the Google Cloud platform. That is called as scalability. And one more advantage is you can analyze big data. So when we call this as big data, for example, if it is a meteorological department or weather reporting system, something like that. So we cannot assume that the data collected from one or two sensors will be taken into consideration. So millions of such sensors will be placed along with the devices within the test beds. For example, in one city, they may put some thousands of sensors along with some IoT devices. So all the data which is generated from them may be time complaint. That is, every second you may read the data from the sensor or hourly basis or 24 hours basis, 1 day basis like that. So that depends upon how you retrieve the data at what rate. For example, if you are collecting data for every 1 minute or 2 minutes in a day, you can imagine how much data is generated by the IoT device, one device. Like that, we'll have millions of devices. So all this data is stored in a centralized server with some database, and simply, as you know that simply storing the data has no use. We need to perform some kind of analytics and get some insights from that, especially weather forecasting. We may not be using, but people who are nearby the sea or ocean, oceanography, or what you call it as a marine industry, even agriculture, all this depends upon weather forecastings. So we know that if we have historical data of 3 or 4 years, using that some mathematical model, the future predictions will be made. So like that, we can perform big data analytics. Maybe they may be using their own tool, or you can use your Hadoop tools for performing analytics on this big data. So next, coming to IBM Watson. So IBM cloud computing is called as Bluemix, and they provide this platform as a service for developing any applications. So they have a wide variety of applications which you can perform this on this IBM Watson. Like one is the IoT platform, one is the artificial intelligence, and whatnot. So many things we can perform on this IBM Watson. So this IBM Watson is offered free of cost, but we have some limitations. We need to use up to certain extent only. If we go beyond that, you need to go for commercial pay and use. So like that, and it is more very easy, simply creating the account and provide the credentials. Every service provider, that is cloud service provider, will give us one a token value that is called as some encrypted data, some alphanumeric value of some 50 or 60 digits like that. So that token will be taken as a credential from your IoT device. I will show you that how to put that generated token into your uh, IoT Python program and how to upload this data to the your particular account. So, and this will be very much easy for the beginners, and you can go to any extent. So there is no limit for IBM Watson also. And here, these are the features provided by the Watson, IBM Watson. So real-time data exchange, and of course, every service provider will provide a secure communication. And cognitive systems, you can directly implement artificial intelligence on this data. We call them as cognitive systems, which will learn gradually. Such systems are called as cognitive systems. And they have recently added this data sensor and weather data service also. So because so many parameters will be taken into consideration while forecasting the weather, like, so you can use different mathematical models and forecast the weather readings. IBM Watson, and we'll also see in the coming sessions about IBM Watson. Next one is AWS IoT platform. The previous speaker also have given a lot of information about this AWS IoT platform. So here it is very easy to use. You can not only this AWS IoT platform, every platform, once it is on the cloud, we can access it from anywhere. That is the advantage of any IoT platform that is cloud based. And especially we have this device management. See, device management means you can add a device into the network, or you can remove the device from the network. Such things are called as device management, and these are the features of AWS IoT platform. And anyhow, security will be provided by, of course, every IoT platform cloud service providers. And of course, they will go some ahead, and they give some authentication and encryption by giving some certificates, security certificates like that. So these are all about AWS IoT platform. Next, coming to Cisco, one of the giant service provider is also Cisco, especially they are into the networks, especially. So here, the main features of Cisco Cloud Connect is data and voice connectivity. So this voice connectivity were not there in previous service providers. Especially Cisco have this voice connectivity also. Next one is device and IP session. Internet protocol session report. That means how much time a device has been communicating with the server at the cloud side of the Cisco. And here billing is customizable. That means uh, you have to pay for what you have used for, not like something like a fixed price like that. So it is very much flexible. And here also we have different kind of how to deploy your data into the cloud. So that much of flexibility they provide. That is any novice user can also connect to this Cisco IoT Cloud Connect. The name of the service provider is called as IoT Cloud Connect from Cisco. And the next one is the Salesforce IoT Cloud. So this Salesforce is one of the one of the largest companies in the world, which provide these cloud services. Apart from that, they are also providing IoT cloud also. So here the advantage of using Salesforce IoT Cloud is that it gathers data from devices. That is a common thing from all cloud providers and also from websites, applications, and partners to trigger actions for real-time responses. For example, I'm reading some data like temperature. If temperature goes beyond some uh, threshold value, say for example beyond 100, immediately it will trigger one SMS or email or any some such messages. So it improved a customer service up to a large extent. So key features of the IoT cloud from Salesforce is that enhanced data collection, next improved customer engagement. So that means if you get any problem, technical problem like that, immediately they will be resolved from the backend. We'll get help. That is nothing but help. So next one is, as I said, it is real-time event processing. So if there is any fire accident in the building, the automatically the temperature sensor will read the data, and if it goes beyond some limit, maybe 150 like that, that means some fire accident has been broken, and it will send some messages, or automatically will start the water sprinklers like that. So this can be used in real-time event processing. And technology optimization means uh, without changing much things in the established connection, you can automatically upgrade to new technologies. For example, say I'm using Raspberry Pi 3. Tomorrow I may upgrade to Raspberry Pi 4. So without much changes into the program or any other parameters, we can directly connect to the Salesforce IoT Cloud. Next one is IoT platform. So it has become so unique that it reduces the development time because they provide us some ID tool, and it is open source and free. Anybody can make changes to the existing software, and it will keep on evolving. So one last point is about easy and direct device implementation. So without much hurdles, we can connect any device into the IoT platform. So that means you need not uh, install any drivers, any system softwares into the existing IoT device. So ease of using, simply you will create an account, and they will supply us some token. Using that token in your program, you can connect to any cloud. That I will show you in the coming slides. And the next one is about the Oracle IoT platform. So as you know, it is a very big database provider. Now, platform as a service is one of the offerings, cloud offering from Oracle IoT platform. And here you can perform analytics. Main features of this Oracle IoT platform are secure, scalable. Today we are adding 100 devices. Tomorrow we can add one more 500 devices. Like that, we can scale up vertically to any extent. And real-time insights. So as earlier, only before that, Oracle is a database provider. The data which is coming from IoT devices will be saved in a very precise format in the database. So this analytics becomes a very easy task for them. That's why we'll get real-time insights at any instance. So the collected data will be tested with the different kind of analytics, and we'll get some important information that is called as insights. And these are the and it is very faster to market, means easily you can, well, once you collect the data also can be can be sold outside the markets. So suppose Google, your Android phone will provide us this temperature and all this every time. So where do they get this data? So for example, in this location, town location, if I provide real-time data like temperature, humidity, I can sell that data to the this Oracle Corporation to or to any other markets who use that data and give us some insights from that data. Next one is ThinkSpeak IoT platform. So this has so many advantages. Our students also use this ThinkSpeak IoT platform. Very easy to use. Not only Raspberry Pi, you can also connect Arduino, that is microcontroller based IoT devices, as well as processor based IoT device like the Raspberry Pi and BeagleBone to send this sensor data. And we'll create a separate channel to store the data. That is the speciality of this ThinkSpeak IoT platform. So here the data is collected in private channels. So every time a new token will be generated, and the data which is communicating from IoT device to the cloud server will be having lot of security, and application integration is also very easy. For example, using your mobile phone, if you download ThinkSpeak's application onto your mobile phone, you and just you need to take the token, user ID and password. Immediately you can connect your IoT device and you can access your devices from anywhere. That is one more important aspect of ThinkSpeak IoT platform, that is called as the app integration. And event scheduling. So event scheduling means when should each IoT device should upload the data to the cloud, and these things we can do in real time using this event scheduling. And MATLAB is also supported, where you can perform analytics and visualization of the data which is collected at the back end of the ThinkSpeak IoT platform. General Electric also has forayed into this IoT platform. We call this a GE Predicts IoT platform. So here, according to customers, their IoT platform can optimize assets and operations. So this is assets means, for example, General Electric always focus on uh, hydroelectric projects, electricity projects like that. So we call them as assets, and the operations, etc. We can perform on this GE Predicts. Next, it provides key performance data, reduces unplanned downtime, so real-time operational data. All these are the features of this IoT platform, GE Predicts IoT platform. So next one is coming to UBI dots. This is the one actually we are working with. Steps to connect to UBI dots. Here, once you click on this link, please note down this ubidots.com. It is very user friendly, and we are also using this cloud service provider for IoT. So once you click on this link, or you type this ubidots.com in your browser, it will take you to this new screen which you are seeing, UBI dots IoT platform. So here When you land on this page, immediately you can click this encircle with some red line. So get started for free. So we being learners or educationalists, we need not pay any money for this. So it is free of cost, but we have some limited resources available when we are getting free of cost. So if you want more features to be added into your existing system, then we need to pay money. That is, we have to go in a commercial way. So here you will be landing. First, one is the UBI.STEM. That means for learners, for universities, etc. STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So here they are providing free service for professors, students, etc. Already around 60,000 plus students related to educational system have been connected to this one, UBI dots. Another one is for business purpose. If you want to go for any enterprise type, then we have to choose this for business and continue like that. Of course, for business also will provide free service, but we have a limited period. For 30 days trial will be available. If you go beyond that 30-day trial, automatically our account will be blocked and we need to pay money and use it. So next thing is when you go for registration, immediately it will ask you to enter these details. Username, any name you can give. For example, Vagdevi. Next one is provide your email ID. Next, some app name, anything app name like xyz dot iotubi.com, ubi.com, and some password. Please note down the password, and by clicking on that, you can view your password. And finally, you have to click on this create my app. So automatically, uh, account will be created for us. And next thing is you need to go for login. So when you land onto this login with your credentials provided, automatically you will be in this screen which you are seeing now. So you can see this one. Once 30 days trial. So like that, we'll get a limited offer. By the time you can learn so many things, we can create another ID like that. No problem. But otherwise, I have to go to the STEM side. But it is little bit complicated. What I noticed is so for commercial purpose, we call this site as industrial, industrialubi.com. Industrial means any manufacturing company like that. So here we have two types of IoTs. One is general IoT, another one is industrial IoT. This industrial IoT, for example, if you take what you call it, some production company, electricity production company, thermal power station, for example. So there will be a lot of boilers where steam will be sent to the turbines and electricity will be produced. So like that, so if that the pressure increases, automatically the sensors will recognize and using some actuators, they will release that pressure by opening some valve like that. So in such a way, they will be using this industrial IoT. So two things we have. One is general IoT, another one is industrial IoT. So once you land into this page, here you need to add a widget. Widget is nothing but, for example, I'm trying to send temperature and humidity and some coordinates. Then we have to select any one of the widget. like the one. And just if you click on that plus symbol, a new widget will be added. And there you need to select some shape, how that widget has to be displayed. And here you can see you have to select this one. If you click on that user ID, it will show us some devices. So here you can see one device name, Raspberry RK. This is the name of my Raspberry Pi, which I named it as Raspberry RK. So we have to mention this name in the program also, Python program. I will show you. Next thing is adding, yeah, another adding some new widget. So here you will have some right side, you can see some widget names like battery, clock, device table, axis histogram, image, indicators, line chart, like that. You can select as per your requirement. For example, in the here you can see map. If I send coordinates, a Google map will be generated on the widget and it will show the location. Once you pass these two parameters, latitude and longitude as the two parameters to the map. So this is all about the platforms. So any questions from audience?
Hello. Hello. Am I audible, sir?
Yes.
Okay. So that was a really nice presentation. Actually, I wanted to know that
It is not
suppose,
audible, sir.
am I audible now clearly? I think it is my network problem. Is it okay now? Hello. Am I audible?
Yes,
Hello.
you are audible.
Yes, you are audible, sir.
Okay.
Sir,
Okay. Okay.
Rajkumar, sir.
Krishna, sir?
Yeah. Sujay is asking question, sir. Please.
Yes. 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 Okay. So just you just gave some example of multiple IoT platforms. Okay, who are basically working in the service provider for the users. So, as basically you talked about ThinkSpeak as well, right? So, I want to know basically that which one is suitable for among these all the IoT platforms, which one is basically suitable for gathering more data? Okay, suppose in case of ThinkSpeak, if we just, I think as I can remember, there is a limitation that within 15 minutes or 10 minutes we can send one data or something like that. Okay, so which one is the more suitable for experiment on? Okay, that means in respect to the more data storage, more frequently I can send the data, I can access the data, sending or receiving. That's my question actually. Among all of the platforms you talked about.
Sir, are you there, sir? Rajkumar, sir, please answer for this question. Are you there, sir? Maybe wait, sir. Sujay, sir. Wait for 1 minute. Sir is on mute, actually. Rajkumar, sir, are you there?
I think Sir is not there. I think so. That's why. Am I audible, sir?
No. Yes, you are audible, sir. You are audible. Maybe.
Okay. My question was clear, right? Clearly
Yes,
audible.
yes, yes.
Fine.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Fine.
Clear. Yes, sir. You're
Okay.
audible.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Maybe there is a problem from Rajkumar sir side. Wait for 1 minute, sir. Yeah. Sir, are you there? Rajkumar sir? Sir, wait, sorry, joining. Yeah. Sujay sir, once again, please repeat the question. Sir is available.
Hello. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, sir, you are
Am I
audible.
audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
One.
Yeah, sir. Sir, are you there?
It is not audible, Krishna.
Yes. Uh, Participants, please wait for 1 minute. There is a technical issue. Sir, am I audible to you, Rajkumar sir? Okay.
Hello, sir. Hello.
Am I
Yeah,
audible?
Sujay sir, you are
Sir,
audible.
yeah, yes, yeah, no, no, it's all right. It's all right. Since it is taking so time, maybe I can get the answer later on as well. Okay, you please
Yeah, yeah.
proceed on. And one thing, actually, will you provide the YouTube link for both the session lectures as
Sure,
well?
sure, sure, sure.
Okay, okay,
Definitely, sir.
okay,
Yeah, yeah.
okay. Thank you, thank you, thank
Okay,
you.
okay, sir. Okay. Wait for a minute. Hello, Rajkumar sir. Yes, sir. Am I audible, sir? Rajkumar sir? Yes.
Am I audible, Krishna?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, now it is it audible, sir? Hello, am I audible, Rajkumar sir?
You are audible, sir.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, I'm audible, but Rajkumar sir not audible. Participants, please wait for 2 minutes. Yeah.
Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir. Sujay, sir.
Yes, I think Sir has some problem with the system. I
Yes,
think he has to log out and log in once again. I think
yes, yes.
he is
That is
changing
what.
the audio settings.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, they are doing, sir.
Possibly you can talk
Yeah,
with
yeah.
him over
They
phone
are
as well. I
working on
think.
it. They are working on it.
Uh,
Please
uh,
give me 2 minutes of time. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, sir. Rajkumar, sir, are you there? Yeah, sir is there, but unable to connect through audio. Yeah. Rejoin, sir, once. Participants, meanwhile, you can fill afternoon attendance. So take 5 minutes break and again you join, please. Link is available in chat box as well as WhatsApp group. So fill attendance Google form. Okay. Meanwhile, sir will resolve technical issues. But participants, please fill Google form attendance link shared through WhatsApp as well as in chat box. Please fill it.
With the status of deemed university, 2 glorious decades of academic excellence, Vagdevi, the Temple of Learning, UGC Autonomous, 30,000 plus students, 42 plus colleges, 3,000 plus teaching staff, 6 plus campuses with world-class infrastructure, 50 plus professional courses in academics and research, 20,000 plus alumni spread across the globe, MBA accreditation, MOU with foreign universities, strong industry focus and outstanding campus placements. Ranked among the top colleges in Telangana, recognized by IBM as one of the top 30 colleges in India. creating global professionals. Vagdevi Group of Colleges, Warangal.
Engineering is redefining life, and crafting engineers is a social commitment. It requires a world of technostructure where masterminds guide the graduates towards perfection, and incredible imaginations transform into inventions. Vagdevi Engineering Colleges, dream companies, dream placements, dream packages. Bolikunta, Warangal. Igniting engineering passion. Vagdevi Engineering College, ranked among the top 30 colleges in India by IBM, largest campus with world-class academic environment, exploring new ideas through learning and discovery, strong industrial alliances, global exposure through tie-ups with international universities, NBA accredited institution with industry-oriented curriculum, UGC autonomous and permanent affiliation to JNTU, national level techno-cultural symposiums, advanced technologies and integration for premium placements. Create
Sir, Rajkumar sir. Yeah,
Yes, sir. Yeah, now it's audible.
yeah. Sujay sir, are you there, sir?
Yes, I'm here. I'm here.
Yeah, yeah. Can you repeat,
Sir,
sir? Sir is ready.
you come again, sir.
Okay, oh, it's all right, fine. So actually, I'm just asking quickly. My question is that you give a lot of example of IoT platforms, right? So
Yes.
in terms
Yeah.
of the data storage, that means my
Yes.
objective is that how frequently I can store the data and huge volume of the data. Okay. So which one is giving
Yeah.
me the highest storage capacity in terms of speed as well as the volume out of all the
Yeah.
facilities as we talked about in
Yeah.
free of cost, obviously.
Free
Okay.
mode. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
UBI dots. I'm already very well versed with the UBI dots. I'm using this since 3 years, last 3 years. So, but of course, but I didn't tested with huge data uploads. That is the thing. And I don't think that we have limitations for data. Only when you keep on adding new devices into this particular cloud provider, then we have some restrictions. We need to uh, use only one IoT device at a time, because we being learners, if we want to go free of cost, then we have to pay and use. Okay, sir.
Okay. Okay. So one device means only one channel, or device means only one hardware. Which one is restricted over there? That means how this
One,
particular
one
UBI.com
device,
it
sir.
will.
One device, yes, sir. One device, it can associate hundreds of sensors. That's not the problem. So
Okay.
all the data first it will be collected locally on the IoT device, like for example Raspberry Pi. But
Hmm,
it's
hmm.
being a very tiny one. We don't have enough memory to handle such data. Immediately it has to be pushed onto the cloud. So for that you can push the cloud, but we cannot add more than one device to the free channel like that. That is the problem.
So, but the question is that how the server will identify how many devices? Will it take any device signature for that?
Yes, I will show you, sir, that once we create
Okay,
a
okay, okay, fine.
user, yeah, once we create an account, it will provide us token. I will show you
Okay,
that.
okay, okay, fine.
Okay, right. Sir.
Hello,
Yes, sir.
and good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon,
In
sir.
case of cloud with IoT platform, what are the
Yes,
various security and privacy features we can introduce?
privacy features, sir.
Yes.
Yes. See, we are using suppose Google, isn't it, sir, for a Gmail account or saving our entire data and onto the cloud, isn't it? We are believing them, but how we cannot assure that we cannot understand how they are providing the security, but we assume it.
What are the major features or major features we have to introduce for that purpose?
Yes, sir. We have tokens. All the data which are uploading will be definitely encrypted and decrypted when you use the data from storage to your device, and that is to and fro. In between, definitely the data will be encrypted
No, it is
because
also it is only related to the storage feature, but I am asking that what are the security features we have to introduce that data will be not be hacked by any person.
yes, because we have authentication, we have one token which is automatically generated by the cloud provider. Moreover, we'll have your user ID and password. Using these three things, the data which is going to be stored on the cloud will be secured.
Okay, okay, okay. Thank you, sir.
We had to assume as if they are say we don't know what Google is doing with our data, what they are doing at the backside, but others cannot access our account unless we provide user ID and password.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Oh, okay, sir. Thank you. Any more queries from audience? So we'll go for some hands-on. So as I said, I'm very well comfortable with using UBI dots, thingspeaks.com. But right now, I want to demonstrate on UBI dots. So simply, if you type this UBI dots, you will be landed onto this page. Here, uh, you have to choose one of the platform. So here, click on this ubi.com dots.com. So you can parallelly do if you have your a laptop or any other system like that. So here you can see there is one option, get started for free. So click on that. So here you can see we have two types of provisions. One is for educational or personal use, and another one is especially for business or industries. So here, for educational purpose or learning purpose, personal use, if you want to develop any system, you can use this educational personal use. Even and we have unlimited access to this educational personal use. But restriction is you need to use only one device at a time. It can have any number of sensors, but the main registered device will be only one. For example, I'm using Raspberry Pi and named it as Raspberry Pi RK. I will show you that. And for business purpose, they will give us a trial version which will last for 30 days. Soon after 30 days, your account will be locked, and we need to provide some credit card details to open it. You have to pay money, nothing but then you can use that business one. So now we'll going for business one only. We'll see what will happen. You can provide any name. For example, I'm providing Vagdevi College. Vagdevi Colleges. So I'm providing an email ID. gmail.com, and any app name you can give of your choice. Something Apple app like that I have given, and provide one password. So that password, uh, please note down that password. If you want it, you can click on that show password option icon, but you have to memorize this. Of course, you can get back your password by typing your email ID, and you will get back the new password setup page. Now I am giving some password as so I click on that, test whether I'm a machine or a human. So it takes some maybe 1 or 2 minutes, that much. So account has been created successfully. Now I am going to my account. So you can see this one, 30 days left on trial. Now I had to open the Raspberry Pi. I stopped Raspberry Pi before this session. I'm restarting. Yes. Now Raspberry Pi has come up. So here you can see the program UBI test1.py, UBI underscore test1.py. I opened this an IDE tool called as the Tony Python, and you can see some coding here. Line to line I will explain. You need to import all the required packages like the time, request, math, random. So these packages contain all the required methods to connect to the UBI dot. And here already have used multiple times with different user IDs. These are the tokens. I will show you that token also. We have to change the token because I created a new user ID now. So this is a previous token. This token will be generated at the UBI dot site. So here I have labeled this device as the Raspberry Pi RK. And I am creating three variables which are labeled as temperature, humidity, and position. So here I'm not connecting any sensors to the Raspberry Pi, but what I am doing is I'm creating some values based on some this random package. Using that random package, I'm creating random int, which ranges between 1 to 1000 like that. So actually this value 1 will be ranges from -10 to 50. Always it will be within this range only. Next, second value will be from 0 to 85. So what I am doing is just mimicking the sensors. Instead of sensors, I am creating these values and I will try to upload them onto the cloud. Next, here I can see these two values which will be printed every time. Random values will be shown. As I said, the ranges will be like that. Next, if it necessary, we can see this one also. Latitude and longitude. Two more variables have been created with a range of 1 to 1000. Some values will be generated. Based on that, Google Map will be pinning the locations. And here the payload. So here value 1 is equal to variable 1 is equal to value 1. Variable 1 is temperature. Variable 2 is humidity. Variable 3 is all these positions, latitudes and longitudes, which will be set as a set of values to the payload. Here the payload to send this data will be using JSON, JavaScript object notation, where it that is a protocol used to send data from IoT device to the cloud. So this is a method called as build payload. So this is the definition of this method. Variable 1, variable 2, variable 3. These are the three values which will be called upon. And these values once generated, they will be sending as a payload. Some value will be written as a payload from where this method has been called now. So post request here I'm requesting industrialubi.com. So this is the URL and the token should be changed now. I'm using previous token. All the header information should be written to this protocol before generating the data. Some authentication token which the service provider will provide for us. Next one is content type. This application is of JSON. Sometimes the application will be of XML or some other data types. But here we are using JSON as the payload. This JSON is very similar to XML only. So it will be a tree type structure XML, whereas this one will be having some set of values with the colon separated. So these are the status like 400. 400 means some when it is greater than 400, sir, some error message will be displayed, because if you provide wrong credentials like the token number, some different values, after 5 attempts, automatically it will display some information. Otherwise, it will return true, that is request made properly, your device is updated. Like that, we'll getting the message. And so this is the payload, and we are building the payload variable 1 temperature, humidity, and variable 3 is composed of two more values, latitude and longitude, and they will be printed on the terminal. So for that I'm using this print method, otherwise it's of no use. Next, we'll get some message like attempting to send data. If everything goes well, the data will be loaded onto the cloud. And finally, we'll post the request by passing this payload as a parameter. So this is the main program, and the main program will be beginning here at the last 72 line. This entire thing execution will begin from here. First, it calls the main method. Once the main method is called, automatically one by one, the other methods which are already defined in the beginning, like build payload and post request, they will be called one by one, method within a method, like that. Calling will be taking place. So this is all about the what you call this as a payload. So you have given this name as UBI underscore test1.py. So before sending this data, first I need to change this token number. So I will show you how that token will be generated. So here at the extreme right side, topmost side, you can see user information. If you click on that, you can see this Vagdevi Colleges as the username, and this is my profile. Whatever I entered, they will be reflected in this my profile, and this is the main thing, API credentials. Without this, you cannot upload the data, as well as you cannot receive the data. So this is the API data. By clicking on that, the value will be selected. Now go to the Tony Python. This is the actual value which I had to be replaced with the previous one. So I have many accounts. Because of that, I'm using this one. I'm putting as a comment. Now I have changed my token number to this one, newly generated token. So this token acts as a ticket to the at the other side of the cloud. Cloud server always look for this token. Once the token reaches the other end of the server, that is cloud server, first it verifies whether it is coming from a authorized device or not. So once it is verified, verification is over, automatically the data will be accepted, and you will be provided some space where your data will be stored. So here the device name is labeled as Raspberry RK. Now I have to register this Raspberry RK into the Python program. Now, okay, to the cloud. Now I have to add let me save the file where I have done some modifications. So here we have option devices. you'll get a pull down menu like this: devices, groups, types, functions, and plugins. Here I'm selecting devices, then you will get this one option, create device. So here, many IoT devices are there in the market. So you can use this connectivity devices like the Ethernet, cellular, LoRaWAN. LoRaWAN stands for low rate wireless. Wireless network. So like that hardware we have chips, modules, development kits, gateways, production ready hardware types. They will be embedded into some other system. For example, a car will be fitted with some kind of production ready hardware type. That also you can connect to the devices. It is little bit advanced. For example, as I said, if it consider a manufacturing company, those machines can be added to this production ready, provided that both must have some kind of communication link. Okay, like some IPv6, it must be provided with some IP address, like how our IoT device is having some IP address. Same way, if anything which have some IP address and have little bit processing power and which have ability to communicate, then that will become a Internet of Things. So like that, and we have to check for our device. Somewhere it will be yes. This is called as the Raspberry Pi. So Raspberry Pi. So it will guide you through how to connect Raspberry Pi with UBI dots. This page is very important. No need to depend on me. Directly, they will provide the code also here. So here Raspberry Pi connected to the internet. All these things you have to see. And before connecting Raspberry Pi, you are supposed to update your Raspberry Pi by typing this command sudo apt-get update. So the software which is already installed on your IoT device will be updated accordingly. And also you have to type one more command, sudo apt-get upgrade. By using these two commands, all the repositories which are in the Raspberry Pi, that Raspbian operating system, will be updated. So here you have to install this request, pip install request. So using that request is especially for HTTP. HTTP always works on request and response model. So user will be requesting something and will get back in the form of response, client to server, like that. So we need to use this pip install request. If it is machine to machine, it is not required, but we need to visualize the data accordingly. So already this data which is coming from cloud to our Raspberry Pi should be in a human readable format. So for that, this request is used. Next, now create Python script. So one editor is there, Nano editor. Same name I have given, UBI test.py. So using that, you can open the editor, Nano editor, which is on the Raspberry Pi, but it is little bit difficult to, type all these things. We have to be careful. If you want to go to the previous line, we have to use all the commands like old Linux versions, like that, Unix versions. So we have to be very careful by using this Nano editor. Otherwise, you can update all the some G editor. Yes, apt-get install G editor. You will get a visual editor where it will be very similar to a notepad, WordPad, like that. And you can copy this program. See, everything is there. From here only have done my program. So same thing, device label, variable 1, variable 2, variable 3. So this program only we have used. After a long time, I got this application some 3 years back. From then onwards, I'm working on it. Still have so many accounts on that. Now also I created one new account for demonstration purpose. So using this, you can uh, what you call it as uh, uh, design your program according to your requirement. You can tailor make it to your requirement. So these are the main things: how to build a payload, next how to post a request, and how to get back the results. These are the main things related to from Raspberry Pi point. Next thing is simply just type this command, python ubi test.py. So please note down this URL. Otherwise, if you create your account, definitely it will take you to this page. Or if you want, I will put it in the message box. Next, so this is all about your program. Now we'll try to add that device into the UBI dots. So here we have an option. Already have account and token, everything. So I'm going towards UBI dots now. This is all one-time process. Every time you need not do all these repeated tasks. So I'm creating one new dashboard. So click on this tick mark. A new dashboard will be created for us. Now you have to add a widget. For example, first one is a temperature. You can take anything. Okay, thermometer I am taking. So now to retrieve the value, actually device has not been set. Same way it is showing again. It is again taking to the previous screen only. Okay. Yes. Just I'm checking with This we are not concerned with all this. Simply this has to be connected. That's it. Very one Raspberry RK. Now let us run the application. So at the bottom you can see attempting to send data. So I'm creating the variable. See, raw data means it won't perform anything like suppose like you can perform average. Suppose a data is incoming to the server side. If you select this average, automatically it will keep on calculating the average of values. For example, temperature values. All the values will be summed up instantly and perform the number of values taken, and it will give us the average. Raw data means as it is the data which you are uploading from device to the cloud, the same data will be there. That is called as raw data. Okay. So have trying to load this one. So yes, we got some error message. So some error has generated. New connection error. There is new connection error number 110. Connection timed out. Okay, we'll make one more attempt afterwards. But let us see what happened to the data. Yes. We have to select one variable. It is showing the device, not the values. It is loading device name. Creating the connection was lost in the system which I am demonstrating. Actually, I want to display all the three values which are coming from the Raspberry Pi, and I want to show them on the UBI DOS cloud. Unfortunately, some error has been occurred. I will try to debug that program and will try to show in the next coming session. First, I will show that session and we'll go for remaining topic. So, if you have any queries, you can please ask. Something has gone wrong. We'll come up with a solution in the next session. Definitely, I will show you this demonstration.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Participants, if you have any queries, you can ask Rajkumar sir. Yeah, participants, if you have any doubts, any queries regarding IoT with cloud, hands-on session. Sir shown how to create account, how to execute program in cloud. Any doubts? Can ask Rajkumar sir. Participants, please respond. Okay, sir. Sir, thank you very much. You given
Sir,
wonderful
can,
session.
excuse me?
Yeah, please proceed,
Yeah.
sir.
See, actually, I'm Sunil, calling from Sonipat. See, actually, can we configure Raspberry Pi IP address? Can we have more detailed sort of some YouTube or video, sort of some lecture for share, which we can share?
Sure, sir. I will share you in the our WhatsApp group.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
may
that will be
download
better,
from
sir.
there.
Because that will
Definitely.
be more informative, sir.
Yeah, sure, sir.
Thank you very much.
Actually,
Thank you.
something has gone wrong. I was unable to showcase that output finally.
Yeah, IP configuration is a bit important, sir.
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
Sir, while connecting our this Raspberry Pi with the cloud, internally we keep these IP addresses, and the user need not configure any such things while uploading the data. So
Sir.
it already has some IP address fixed with it. So using some scanner, you can find out the IP address of the Raspberry Pi. With that only, we can open the Nova Extern on right clicking and execute like that. Execute command, and we can go ahead like that.
Right, sir. Right, sir.
Okay, very good. Thanks.
Yeah, any queries, participants? Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you very much for giving a wonderful session on IoT with cloud hands-on session. So again, we'll meet tomorrow, participants. Tomorrow we have a session by Mr. Muttunjay and followed by stress management by Jaya L. Copicity. And afternoon session you have again hands-on session. Okay, don't miss that sessions. We'll meet you tomorrow. Okay, thank you all. Thank you very much, Rajkumar sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Krishna sir.